My dear sisters and brothers in Jesus, there was this mother who went to her son's room early in the morning, and she wanted to wake his son up to go to school. And when this mother was waking him up, he did not want to get up. He simply said, "No, I don't want to go to school." He was fast asleep and then he woke up, but still he was reluctant to get up in the morning. And he said, No, I don't want to go to school. Then mother said, "No, you have to go to school today." Then the son again said, "Well, mother, I will give you 2 reasons for not to go to school. 2 reasons for not to go to school. The first reason is, the children, they don't like me, so I don't want to go to school. Then the second reason is, I don't like school, so I don't want to go to school. The children don't like, and I don't like either." Then the mother said, "Well, I will give you 2 reasons why you must go to school. The first reason is, you have to go to school because the children are waiting for you. The second reason is, you are the principal and you are 50 years old. You are the principal and you are 50 years old." So, dear friends in Jesus, most of us are like this principal who did not know his vocation. He did not know his vocation. He was the principal, he had to go to school, but he was not bothered or worried of it. He simply said, "I don't like the children, I don't want to go to school." And he had forgotten his main purpose of his vocation. His vocation is to go to school and teach the children. In the same way, my dear friends in Jesus, as Christians, we have forgotten our call. As Christians, each one of us has a call, and that is called a prophetic role. We have a prophetic role. What do you mean by that? And in the gospel passage today particularly, Jesus was sending out 72 disciples. He was sending out 72 disciples to preach, to teach, and to heal. And that was the mission given to them. And in the gospel today, their names are not mentioned, but they were given a specific mission. Go out into the whole world and preach and teach and heal. And that was their mission. And each one of us as Christians, we have a mission. I'm sure some of you may have heard about this person, this famous person, and his name was J. Edgar Hoover. I'm sure some of you may have heard this name, J. Edgar Hoover. And he was the first director of the FBI. He was the first director of the FBI, and during his time, he saw 10 presidents. 10 presidents in the United States. And he had influence on all those presidents because he knew their secrets. And he knew their secrets. He was controlling all the presidents because of the information he had. And one fine day he said that, "Well, the most dangerous man in America is Martin Luther King Jr. The most dangerous man was Martin Luther King Jr. because he was advocating revolution. He was advocating revolution, though through peaceful means. And that is what you call by the prophetic role, prophetic vocation. We are called to be prophets. We are called to be prophets as Christians. All of us are called to be prophets. For example, look at the Old Testament, dear friends in Jesus. Look at the lives of the prophets. For example, let's take Amos. And Amos, prophet Amos, was called to be prophetic. And all the prophets in the Old Testament were advocating revolution. They were waging war against the status quo of the society during this time, and they wanted to change the system. I don't like to use the word system because it's very common among us as Sri Lankans today. Whenever you talk about the system, you think about our own political situation. Even in our own political situation, we are called to be prophets. The other day, someone told me, Father, as priests, you should not talk about politics. You should not talk about politics. Generally, I don't talk about politics. I said, well, Jesus, he talked about politics. All the prophets, they had a political role. They were speaking against the status quo of the society. They wanted to change the system. And Jesus wanted to change the system. And all of us have that role. So, dear friends in Jesus, as Christians, we have that role, that prophetic role, to be Christians in this society and to realize our vocation, our mission in the society where we live, among your friends, among your family members, in the place where you work. You have that prophetic role to stand for your faith. And there was this famous Jewish rabbi, Jonathan Sachs, and he said once, well, each one of us has a task. As Christians, and he was a Jew, of course, he was talking about the Jewish religion. As Christians, each one of us has a task. Each one of us is talented, and each moment has a call. You don't have to wait for a moment to be prophetic, dear friends in Jesus. There are a lot of occasions in this world, in our society. And a mother once approached me, and I preached on being dangerous. As I shared in that story of Edgar Hoover, each one of us is called to be dangerous in this society, in the good sense, okay? Not in the bad sense. All of us are called to be dangerous. As prophets, they were dangerous. That is why Edgar Hoover said that, well, Martin Luther King was the most dangerous man in America. Are you dangerous in your family? Are you dangerous in the place where you work? Are you advocating revolution, justice, peace, and love, your Christian values? The other day, as I said earlier, a mother approached me, and after I preached about being a prophet in our society today, in our world today rather, and a mother asked me, Father, it is up to the priests and nuns to preach the gospel and to be prophets, not for us. No. As baptized Christians, each one of us has that vocation to be prophetic. That is why Jesus sent the 72, go out to the world. And it's not that easy. It is very difficult. When you talk about justice, when you talk about Christian love, and the people will sometimes, they might laugh at you. What are you talking about? All of a sudden you have become religious? You have to show that prophetic role in the way you live your lives. And I told that mother, that particular mother who approached me, well, you don't have to do big things. Just introduce God to your children. Introduce God to your children. In your family, introduce God to your wife, to your husband, to your brothers and sisters. There is no place for God in our society today. In our own families, there is no place for God. Isn't it true, dear friends in Jesus? Christianity is a challenge. Christianity always challenges us. It is not something rosy and something soft. Unfortunately today, Christianity has become soft. It's gone soft. Yeah, what is our faith? What is our religion? And we say all the novenas, the rosaries, come to church and go back home, and that is our religion. No. It is a way of life. It is a relationship with Jesus. It is a way of life. And we have to give witness through our lives to that faith that we have in our lives, which God has instilled in us, which our parents, our religious leaders have instilled in us. We have to become witnesses. Just look at the world around us, dear friends in Jesus. As I said, the world has become worldly and secular. The other day, a teacher from an international school. I live in Colombo, Santa Maria. I live in Kandy, Santa Maria. That is my community. I am a Redemptorist, by the way. Then I live in Kandy, and there are a few international schools around the place where I am. And one of the teachers gave me a call and asked me, Father, there is a child. Can you just speak to him? Her rather. There's a little girl, and she used to be very studious. Now she doesn't study. She has become a rebel in the class. Very difficult to control her. Can you simply, just for a few moments, can you speak to her? Then I told her, well, get permission from the principal, and then come and meet me in our chapel. And she, along with another teacher, brought the little one to me, little girl. Then I started speaking to her. I asked her, darling, what happened to you? I heard that you were a very good student. You had very good marks for all your subjects. So what happened to you? Then this little girl, initially she was not speaking, then later on, somehow or the other, she started speaking. And she shared something very, very funny and very interesting with me. And she said that, Father, I don't want to go to school because when there are parents' meetings at school, all the other children, they bring their parents. They have a mother, they have a father. But I don't have a mother and father. Then I asked her, why? You don't have parents? No, I have. Then I asked her, why? Because all the other children, they bring mothers and fathers. But I don't have mother and a father. And now I am frustrated. I need a father. She was just simply sharing with me, I need a father. I asked her, why? She said, I have two mothers. I had two mothers, I don't have a father. They are, same-sex marriage, and they have adopted this child. And when it comes to school meetings and all these things, she doesn't have a father. And in a society like this, what is our prophetic role? So go along with the current. Okay, simply we have to understand them, and okay, what is that in our society? We live in this modern society. You have to understand. Sin is sin always. What is wrong always. You cannot justify. You cannot justify your wrongs, your wrongdoings. The sin in this world you cannot justify. That is why that famous preacher, you may have heard about him. The elderly generation may know him. And Bishop Fulton J. Sheen once said that there are two types of Christians. Among us, there are two types of Christians. Frozen people and chosen people. I hope you understand. The first type is chosen people. We are chosen Christians, we are chosen. And frozen, F-R-O-Z-E-N, frozen Christians. Are you frozen or chosen? Ask yourselves, ask your consciences and see whether you are chosen or frozen. We are frozen in our prayer life. We are frozen when it comes to our faith. We are frozen when it comes to the sacraments. We are frozen. Most of us are frozen Christians. And because we don't like challenges today. In our present world today, people don't like challenges. They don't like challenges. That is why they flock around these famous so-called self-proclaimed prophets and bishops. Because they are what they call prosperity gospel preachers. There are people who are called prosperity gospel preachers, evangelists. What do they preach? They preach happiness. They don't challenge the people. They preach happiness. They preach emotions. You sing, dance, and do all sorts of things, clap, sing, dance, and you show off your miracles in your church, and then that's all. Christianity is not like that. You cannot be a frozen Christian. You are chosen to challenge the world, swim against the current of this society. So as we reflect on the Word of God today, my dear friends in Jesus, let's ask ourselves, are we one of the 72 disciples which Jesus sent to the world? What is your role? What is your prophetic role in the world where you live? Perhaps as a mother, as a father, as a child, as a brother, as a sister, in the place where you work. It pains me a lot, dear friends in Jesus, when I hear Christian names involved in corruption and bribery and all sexual scandals in the world. All our leaders, sometimes spiritual leaders, religious leaders, or political leaders mainly. And when I hear Christian names involved in this bribery and corruption, it pains me a lot. So let's ask the Lord to be with us, dear friends in Jesus, today, as we have gathered here around the table of the Lord. As you break the same bread, as we break the same word together, let's ask the Lord to be with us so that we may recognize our call as Christians, so that we may not be frozen Christians, but chosen Christians. Amen.